I'm sure you guys have seen what has been happening in Morocco and Spain. All these military-aged men from Morocco basically just dashed through that tiny little border.
PSA is being sued for a reported $3 billion. Well, realistically, $1 billion, but they could be liable for triple damage. So that would total to $3 billion. Now, what are they being sued for? We all know PSA has been in the headlines, especially during this Pokemon hype, for their unethical practices, right? Whether that be, grading cards differently depending on who's submitting the cards or treating people unfairly or...
Situational awareness, guys. Who has heard about this fun phrase, situational awareness? So if you guys don't know what situational awareness, it was a fund basically ran by, was called the Nostradamus of AI. If you guys don't know what a Nostradamus is, it's basically like someone that can see into the future, kind of like a prophet. This guy named Leopold Aschenbrenner, he is a beast. He did fall into the category of over-leveraging, just like we all have, but the reason why Amazon destroyed their earnings, yeah, they made a F ton of money on AWS. But did you guys know Amazon made $54 billion in profit in just Q2 because of Anthropic? Welcome back to another episode of The Market Take, breaking down what's happening around the world in the markets and in crypto.
And if you like being informed about this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing to our channel. And if you do watch our content and you're not sure if you're subscribed, please double check. A lot goes into making these videos and we get super motivated when we see that people are interested. So yeah, thank you. Big stuff happened this past weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we totally forgot to put this in the notes because so much other big stuff is happening. But before we get into the whole conundrum fiasco that's happening in Spain, let's talk about this guy Fauci just pleading the fifth on everything. So that's crazy, which is even more crazy because he has a presidential pardon, so he can't technically get tried for that stuff. But I'm going to guess he's obviously taking the fifth on everything, so he doesn't implicate everyone else that was involved around the whole hoax that was COVID-19.
Guys, if you don't know, just as if you were a felon, honestly, if you get pardoned for something, you lose your basic citizen rights pretty much, or you're
That's true. Don't you lose the right to plead the fifth in a sense?
You lose a lot of constitutional rights. And one of them is you can't plead the fifth in a court of law. So guys, if you haven't been watching the news, like Arthur was saying, Anthony Fauci was subpoenaed to Congress. Right. And he was, and the Senate was grilling him. But, here's the thing. Here's the thing that we need to pay attention to. What was Anthony Fauci accused of? Right. He was accused of, of creating this, this grand COVID-19 scheme, covering up lab leaks and
helping facilitate the whole vaccine process.
Yeah, it was this whole malice, this whole malice idea of how to I wouldn't say depopulate the world, but it was he wanted there was this evil scheme to
which is scary because other leaders, the ones that he facilitated around, there's been several times that even on national press conferences, they've talked about depopulation. They talked about depopulation in 2019. They still talk about depopulation. Bill Gates still talks about depopulation.
Yeah.
You heard Peter Thiel when he got asked, should the human race survive? He was like, I was like, whoa, buddy, who the excuse my language, but who the fuck died and made you God?
I mean, and there's a whole spew of things. Guys, I want to point something out, right? While I think COVID-19 wasn't some grand master depopulating scheme, I do think it was mishandled and mishandled on wild proportions and ruined many lives because of Anthony Fauci's policies and the people that took his advice on things, right? I think he was, very, what's the word? I think it was very,
It was financially and criminally driven. It was
very
crimes against humanity. The punishment for crimes against humanity is execution. But unfortunately, we live in a society where You can do whatever you want. No
Yeah.
one's still held accountable for anything.
True. And back what I was saying, like I feel like he was very irresponsible during this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is, going off of his journal that they pulled, right? Because a big part of what Congress was trying to get him after was what was in his journal, and they didn't find anything incriminating in his journal, and there really wasn't much there aside from him just like embellishing him in himself, right? He definitely let the fame get to his head. He was very, enamored into himself, and he would always talk to himself in this journal on how to deal with the fame and everything like that. The only thing pretty much about COVID in the journal so far was basically, the origins of him trying to like figure out what the origins of COVID were and when it transitioned from animals to humans. So they didn't really find anything there. However, this is what we need to keep in our mind. Why on earth would Biden pre-pardon Dr. Fauci?
We're going to talk about past playbooks a lot here, especially when we get into situational awareness and Citadel. But this isn't Fauci's first time doing this playbook. You remember the last time? It was the AIDS pandemic. So when they rushed a million different medications, vaccines, this, that, yada, yada, yada. A lot of them made you sick. This was the same playbook ran. And just when he was pleading the fifth, he a couple times I caught that smug look in his face, that smug shit-eating grin that he had. Like he just thought that he was like above everyone else or something. Oh, God, I just want to.
Looks like a rat.
Looks like a piece of shit.
And also that brings me to the next point, right? Like he's allegedly being accused of, profiting off of the pandemic,
100%,
which is not out of this realm. Because you got to understand, Dr. Fauci,
hence the crimes against humanity that
he's got a lot of royalties from these manufacturers when it comes to vaccines, medicines, and all that kind of stuff. There's definitely something that they're going to dive into that. And then obviously lockdowns being a huge part of it, right? Like this guy had a huge say on these lockdowns, obviously. And those lockdowns, people had different turnouts from the lockdowns. Like fortunately for me and you, it turned out to be pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, but we're the small minority.
Small minority for a big majority, especially for brick and mortar businesses and certain businesses that rely on certain kinds of traffic that got severely affected by the lockdown. Their lives have changed, ruined.
The businesses that got shut down. How about the families that couldn't see their dying loved ones? Or how about the families who were forced to watch, their wives give birth behind a screen and stuff like that? Or just like I was saying, people had to watch their family members die on Zoom, bro.
Yeah.
Because of this guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's obviously not just him, right? There's it's that little elite class that's kind of running the show of everything, and we see that to be true more and more every day, man. We haven't seen anyone being held accountable for anything. Why is our culture so quick to forget stuff? If you guys remember, as soon as it kind of became almost viral that everybody was agreeing that the vaccine was actually bad, that's when the Russia-Ukraine war started. So when the Russia-Ukraine war stuff, everybody started saying, this is retarded, we shouldn't have any affiliation with this. That's when the Israel-Palestine stuff started. And we're just so quick to forget what keeps happening that we keep forgetting to hold people accountable. What the hell happened with Epstein?
Dude, it's
wild.
That's a whole other video too. It's a whole circus within this administration too. I don't know if you noticed, but Kash Patel, nowhere to be found. He
what happened to that guy?
Bro, he disappeared.
Holy crap! I just realized that.
He just went through a defamation lawsuit. He tried suing some journalist for calling him a googly-eyed judge. and he lost it. It got thrown out. It was in a Nevada court too. But ever since then, he just kind of disappeared. Trump's obviously going to keep him around because Trump's got his own thing and that's FBI. But Kash Patel has just done, in my opinion, a very terrible job. But aside from that, another thing that we need to take note too of the Fauci thing too as well. Ron Paul threw out his lawyer too during the hearing because he was that lawyer was unrecognized also because of the pre-pardon, and he was trying to give him counsel advice during the hearing, and he couldn't. So his lawyer got thrown out, and then and now they're voting to hold Fauci contempt in Congress. Just because of the whole plead the fifth thing. So we'll see where that goes.
All right, let's get into guys. I'm sure you guys have seen what has been happening in Morocco and Spain. So for anyone that has not been to Morocco, the very northern part of Morocco is a beautiful place called Tangier. I've actually been there. If you're in Tangier, you can actually look across the water and you can see Gibraltar in Spain. So there is a small little enclave that's actually in Morocco. The easiest way for you guys to understand this, it's very similar to like how Vatican City is inside Italy. It's like considered its own country, right? Ceuta is a small little area in Morocco to the very northern east side tip of it. That's owned by Spain. So Morocco obviously engulfs that whole part of Spain, and what happened is all these military-aged men from Morocco basically just bashed through that tiny little border in Ceuta, and what they're saying is it's all coordinated. I saw this video where a couple of the guys that are talking to a reporter, they're like, yeah, the police in Morocco were literally telling us go, 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 go.
It is wild that this happened on one day at a specific time all at once, right? Like coordinated why, coordinated how, I don't know. From my understanding, Morocco isn't really a war-torn country, or like there's not really much insane conflict going on there. From what you will read is that Morocco's economy is not great, and especially if you're a young man, you gotta understand Morocco. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is an Islamic culture, right?
Correct.
So the majority of men are the ones that are working. Women, not really. So you could argue that it's a bunch of these young men trying to find a better opportunity, but it is just weird. Guys, 50,000 people came into this beach town in Spain.
No women and children.
Very few. Very, 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 very few.
Like 1%.
Yeah, like even less than that. Came into this small beach town of a population of 83,000 people, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I want to point out here too is we got to understand who was coming in, okay? These people that rushed this border were breaking into these beach homes, okay? These beach houses, setting up encampments.
Killing people.
Even some immigrants were interviewed, and one of them even said, and like you go look this up, it's out there. Said, yeah, I was tried for murder in Morocco, and I wanted to come here for a new opportunity. Just like it's stuff like this that you got to be aware of. Like listen. This is just honestly unacceptable, and how like the Spanish government's handling this is honestly quite sad. Thankfully, the mayor of Ceuta is voicing against the Spanish government, but she's basically coming out. She or he, I forgot, is basically coming out saying that the Spanish government's lying about everything that's happening.
100%.
They said majority of the people that came over are back in Morocco. No, that's not true. There's still, 20,000 people on the streets just setting up encampments, overrunning that small beach town. Dude, they literally.
What do you do if your population is 80,000 and now 50,000 males just came in? Who are they gonna recreate with? Where are they going to get jobs from? How are they going to eat? What, are they just going to get random jobs and just eat? No, they're going to fucking rob the city. They're going to pillage. Yeah. It's crazy. It's 100% orchestrated. Over 80 people dead already, 70 from Spain, 10 plus from Morocco.
Yeah.
So many viral videos of just random old people just like, dude, I saw this video of this guy literally jumping on this old man's head, bro. Jumping on it.
Oh,
dog.
my God.
Like trying to kill this old man. I'm like, for bro?
Can you imagine, dude, just being like, first of all, if that was...
This is some shit you see in like World War Z, bro, in the movies.
So my grandpa lives in Sicily, right? Like, you know, on the beach, and God forbid something like this happened. I would go nuts, dude. I would go ballistic. I would fly over there and
yeah,
probably never hear from me again. But it's like, dude, it's just like
they should have let Messi win, man.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
like there's a
not that funny.
But there's something that I want to point out too, right?
What's up?
I'm struggling to find what the motive was behind it, aside from what just passed. On why it caused this, right? Like, you know how I said how there's like an economic trigger in Morocco for people to do that, but also like, you know, you have the Spanish government coming out saying specifically, right? Like if you swim over, right? Like if you go through that certain waterway, anyone could seek asylum and they'll obviously get like a bunch of free benefits. And that was like something that was passed recently within that weekend.
It's the whole problem with the EU right now, bro. The EU is fucking toast.
Yeah. Here it goes. Immediate catalyst was a Spanish Supreme Court ruling around late June, July that migrants intercepted at sea en route to Ceuta or Melilla could not be immediately summarily returned to Morocco without due process. Spanish PM Pedro Sanchez and officials said human trafficking networks and social media misinterpreted spread this as an open invitation, encouraging the rush. Morocco's Interior Ministry similarly cited social media misinformation trafficking networks of the ruling. Report noted that Moroccan border guards appeared less. Get this. So on the day, right, that that they rush over, the Moroccan border guards appeared less active or stopped patrolling on a public holiday on July 30th, allowing people to walk around barriers. Just to walk around the barriers.
Like I was saying, there were several videos of reporters interviewing a bunch of military-age men saying, "Yeah, the police in Morocco were literally telling us, go, like, come through, come through." So 100% orchestrated for the benefit of what? I don't know just yet either. So I don't want to make any assumptions that are just wild.
It's just so weird how it happened all at once. Like it's just like,
I mean, it's weird and not weird. It's weird in the sense that it's 100% planned.
Yeah,
that's why it's weird. Yeah. Why was it planned? I don't know. I don't know. But
like, what's the gain here?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but we're definitely going to find out. I'll tell you what, though. Don't try that shit here because we got guns. Some more scamming. The PSA lawsuit. I think we know the why there. Just simple dollar value. Let's go over the PSA news and then, or should we? I got some other military conflict stuff that I want to talk about.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to go over PSA first?
Yeah.
All right. Guys,
if you haven't seen all over the news, which you probably have, especially if you're on Pokemon, PSA is being sued for a reported $3 billion. Well, realistically, $1 billion, but they could be liable for triple damage. So that would total to $3 billion. Now, what are they being sued for? Guys, we all know PSA has been in the headlines, especially during this Pokemon hype, for their unethical practices, right? Whether that be, grading cards differently depending on who's submitting the cards or treating people, or treating people unfairly or or giving people more attention, depending on, like, for example, like Logan Paul. A lot of people think that they give Logan Paul's cards a higher grade because it's a good marketing tactic for them and to put PSA more on the map and to get more of the market share. And then also being accused for, a monopoly. If you don't know, PSA has bought Beckett grading, SGC card grading, and so forth. And then they're also, being accused for, kind of being really not transparent with how they come up with the fees and how they manipulate the market, right? If you don't know, guys, if you send in a card that's worth some money to PSA, right, and it gets like a good grade, they charge you an upcharge on the value of the card. And, they basically hold your card hostage, right? And if you don't pay the premium upcharge, then they're going to keep your card. And they also set the market for a lot of these cards because when they're done grading the card, they give you an option to buy from you for said value, and then
they buy it and then they change it from a grade 9 to a grade 10.
Yeah, and there's all bunch of hocus pocus stuff behind that. Yeah, dude. I mean, what do you think of this? I mean, this is just.
There's been so many cases already out about what PSA is doing just with this scandal. Mm-hmm. They're purposely not giving 10s out on certain cards to control the population, which is jacked up.
Yep.
If you submit 50 cards, that's probably the worst thing you could do because they'll just give you all 9s instead, like they did to me. I submitted so many perfect Chaunceys from XY nothing because there's such a low pop, scumbags. But the most reported thing that they've been doing is that when people submit their cards, they'll see one grade and they get issued a cert number, and then they look at that cert number a few months down the road, and all of a sudden it's a PSA 10, and guess who's selling it? PSA is selling it because of those buyback offers that they do. It's a racket, and they control now most of the grading, but I do think people are starting to see it more and are finally starting to move away because a lot of people are submitting to tag now and resubmitting to CGC. CGC slowly coming back.
It really is. People are sleeping on CGC. People are sleeping on CGC. Honestly, PSA, you better get your act up.
The price difference was so crazy that I'm like, why is nobody buying CGC? Yeah, there's some CGCs where the centering's kind of jacked up, but if you carefully look at some CGC 10s, if you get good centering, it can PSA 10.
Dude, I love the CGC Pristine 10 too. I love that label.
I think the PSA label is the ugliest label in the game with that stupid red border. Like, dude, enough.
Dumb.
Enough.
Dumb. It's ugly. But guys, I want to point out the very first example of this, by the way, with PSA, with their first graded card, actually. PSA's very first graded card, the T206 Honus Wagner, it's a baseball card, right, that came out of cigarette packs, allegedly received a near mint 8, despite being knowingly trimmed and altered. Guys, this is something that we need to take note of. PSA does not grade altered cards. If your card's altered, right, they send it back and they'll label it altered and they won't give you a grade on it. But yeah, so anyways, the card was knowingly altered. And PSA's published standards prohibit grading altered cards. The grade was never disclosed as altered or revoked. The card later sold for $2.8 million in like 2007. Its owner later pleaded guilty to related fraud, by the way. The suit calls this the blueprint for an industry that depends on perceived PSA authority and neutrality. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the first example that kind of put this whole PSA scheme on the map. But yeah, I mean,
long story short, don't grade with PSA now.
And honestly, dude, even Tag though. Well, Tag's great. They use software to grade your card. It's like very consistent. PSA's not consistent at all.
Well, it's a human grader. That's why.
Yeah, here's another thing too. Like they're with so many cards and so many backlogs. They're trying to get people. They're speed running the process on becoming a grader. So you're gonna have like a lot of like skewed opinions.
Tag?
No. PSA.
Oh.
So you're gonna have a lot of inconsistencies with the grading But tag is very consistent. However, you know, they're pretty expensive right now too. They only have that $140 option available.
Yeah.
Let's
get moving. We still have a lot to cover. My buddy Nikolai made a great point here, and he goes, hasn't Spain been outspoken on Gaza not letting the U.S. use its airspace for attacks on Iran? It's 1,000% true. Multiple times, Spain has come out and said, you cannot use our airspace if it's related to any attacks on Iran. So that could definitely be it. I'm going to pass on some of these topics that are just not as important, but I do have a lot of shit to go over, guys. I'm going to speed run some stuff. So we obviously just touched up on the Iran conflict. We know that as of July 20th, everything basically went kaput and the ceasefire stopped. The war was pretty much back on. The strait was basically closed back down again. But today, as of August 3rd, Trump was in office today saying that this is their last chance to get a decent deal. They've been talking about the negotiations to reopen the strait again. To be honest, I'm not believing any of these talks anymore. I'm just going to wait until it happens and let the market decide, because everything that we're seeing in price action matches uncertainty, because there is no clear long-term trend. When there is a clear long-term trend, that's probably when all this conflict shit will end. And then Trump was touting about his 20-point peace plan being one of the best plans, yada, yada. A lot of talk, no action. I'm not seeing anything. This fucking war shit's got to end. I'm annoyed. I'm trying to make some trades just like you guys. If you guys remember who Lindsey Graham was, guys, he obviously passed away in a crazy accident, and he was just in Ukraine talking about the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Took a flight home that same week, dead. Almost that same day, I think. They just had his funeral July 28th. I almost said something fucked up. Never mind. He was basically one of the loudest voices in the Senate when it came to the conflict about Ukraine and Russia, saying, like, we need to support Ukraine. We need to support Ukraine, yada, yada, yada. As soon as he left Ukraine, pretty much died. Reason why I'm talking about this is the Russia and Ukraine conflict is actually escalating now. Yeah. So on Saturdays, Ukraine hit some warehouses just right outside of Moscow. On Sunday, Russia targeted Ukraine with some ballistic missiles. Ukraine sent some suicide drones to oil refineries. Some of the refineries got hit. Two of them did. Putin publicly admitted that they are running low on fuel, but they definitely have ties to a lot more. They did begin fuel rationing across the Oblast area, which is like the way outside of parts of Russia. So pretty interesting stuff. You know, so none of these conflicts that Trump kind of ran on, saying that he's going to put all these conflicts to rest and it's going to be peacetime. None of that has happened whatsoever at all.
The war, that war, Ukraine and Russia, has definitely been escalating. You know, even more so than ever, to be honest. Because now, I mean,
I was supposed to go to Russia in December. We're not going anymore.
Dude, like you said, bro. I mean, they're at the point where they're striking deep inside each other. Kind of crazy, but Moscow being hit, and then obviously Kyiv being hit. Like it's a free for all, Now, where does this end? I'm not sure. I feel like I feel like that war could go on for
some deep strikes for
like 10, 12 years, 10 or 12 more years, to be honest.
Well, I got a good story for us.
Oh, yeah.
I got to stretch out for this. So, guys, grab your popcorn.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a long segment.
Talk about it.
Oh, I almost need some water to hydrate for this long segment.
Talk about it.
Plug it out and plug it back in.
I mean, talk about
it. Jesus Christ. Bounce on like a FC. So, guys, get some Cajun water. Guys, situational awareness. Guys, who has heard about this fund? Who's ever heard the phrase situational awareness? So if you guys don't know what situational awareness, it was a fund that was basically ran by what was called the Nostradamus of AI. If you guys don't know what a Nostradamus is, it's basically like someone that can see into the future, kind of like a prophet. This guy named Leopold Aschenbrenner. I hope I said that right. That's why I called him asshat before, but I can't call this guy an asshat. He is a beast. he did fall into the category of over leveraging, just like we all have. But here's a beautiful lesson on why you should never, ever over leverage, no matter how smart you are. You can be a super genius with a 200 IQ, but the market will always humble you. Do I have a good story for you guys? So, who is Mr. Leopold Aschenbrenner? Well, guys, he's a 25-year-old who's a Columbia valedictorian at the age of 19. He used to work for OpenAI, guys, and he has been allegedly said that he's leaked some info about OpenAIs. And ironically enough, guess where he worked before OpenAI? He worked at FTX, guys.
He did?
Yeah, no one knows about this.
What did he do at FTX?
He literally helped SBF run a charity from the Bahamas penthouse. Run a charity. Running over leveraging. Over leveraging just like FTX. Running some schemy stuff. Who knows what he was doing.
So this guy's a piece of shit.
But he used to work with SBF. I don't know. So we do have to give praise where it's due. Right? This guy's, the reason why his fund was called Situational Awareness is he actually wrote a 165-page essay back in 2024. And Silicon Valley actually made his essay become like a must-read for any Silicon Valley jobs. The whole theory was about AI scaling super intelligence when it would be ready, and the sheer fact that you would need trillions of dollars to scale super intelligent at the way that all these companies want to, in terms of infrastructure, data centers, chips, all that stuff. So they literally named his essay and became a must read. It was such a good essay that Stripe and the backers of Stripe wanted to invest into him because he basically was leaving OpenAI, was going to start his own fund, and he had like insider knowledge. You know, he had a lot of like leaked info. So his portfolio, guys, peaked at $45 billion at the start of July, and they had gains of 439% since January.
Wasn't it like 1,000x? Something like that?
439% from the beginning of the year. From the beginning. It could have been different the lifetime, but from the beginning of the year, the portfolio was up 439%. He was 3 and 4 and 5x leveraged on a lot of AI infrastructure, not like your NVIDIAs that you would think. No, his biggest investors were on SK Hynix, CoreWeave, Nebius, SanDisk, and Micron. And then he was shorting a lot of the software companies like Adobe. So where this gets even crazier is, so this was an attack.
Before you continue, he started this fund at like with 40 to $50 million, right?
I feel like I should have that info and I don't. So I
apologize. He did. And he grew it to $42 billion, like you were saying.
So here's what's happened, guys. And this is the week of July 27th. So we saw that the semiconductors had its worst month since 2002. And that headline sounds crazy and scary, but when the whole sectors ran up hundreds of percents, like SanDisk went $60 to $2,000, you're going to see a pullback, and it's going to be a vicious pullback. You know, we always say the further extended away from the 34 EMA, like the quicker the run happens, the more violent the pullback is going to be. The more violent to the 34 EMA it's going to be. So when these big tech names started to drop down 30%, rival funds and traders figured this out. Guys, we've seen this in history, and oh God, I fucking love this topic. I'm about to yap. I'm about to fucking yap, guys. We saw this happen with AMC and GameStop. I've told you guys so many times that entire viral narrative that it's retail versus the banks, retail versus Wall Street, was all the biggest bullshit that everybody was fed on the news. That news was literally paid fucking news, because if you did your research, you saw that 2 to 3 months before GameStop and AMC went viral, Fidelity, BlackRock, and Vanguard. I know for sure it was Fidelity, Vanguard, BlackRock is the only one I'm kind of iffy about, but I know for a fact 3 different hedge funds started buying positions massively in GameStop and AMC before it went viral. That's what started the short squeeze. That's when Melvin Capital was basically going bankrupt and when Citadel rescued them. So I'm going to talk about that some more. So these other funds figured out, okay, this guy, this 25-year-old managing $45 billion, if we attack his biggest holdings, we can liquidate this fund.
Yeah.
It's a playbook, is old of time. It's happened 3 other times in the last 20 years, and I'll get to it. So because he kept getting margin called, right? He had to fill the position. I'm sorry, he had to
get more money.
He had to pay back the collateral for that margin. So the only way that he was able to do that was by selling his own stocks. So if he keeps selling the stock that he holds, it keeps dipping the price. He keeps getting margin called. So it was such a big clusterfuck. There was no way out of it.
Yeah.
The only way out of it is to sell your assets and pay off the margin. If you keep selling your assets keep going down, and all the other funds kept attacking it. So by Wednesday 29th, in just 2 days, he was trying to sell everything that he could. And guess when all of this is happening, guys? During the weekend of his wedding. This is how savage and sick these big funds are. They don't give a shit. This guy's wedding weekend, the fund is getting imploded.
They strike when you least expect it.
Here's where the story keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So this guy, Leopold, believe it or not, he owns $3.5 billion of equity in Anthropic. Out of the $10 billion that's left in the fund, $3.5 billion of that was his holdings that he tried to sell to pay back investors first, and nobody was buying it. And now, guys, guess what? His wife, the bride, is the chief of staff for the Anthropic CEO. This story gets hairier and hairier. It gets crazy. Ooh. His wife was the chief of staff of Anthropic, and they were basically trying to pawn off that $3.5 billion that they had for like almost half of it just to pay back the investors on the margin call to not lose the fund. Nope. The other funds attacked them until there was nothing left. And this is where Citadel comes in with the most genius playbook ever. This is the main event in the whole situation, guys.
Let me hear it.
This is where it gets insanely interesting because what happened this week is not new for Mr. Ken Griffin, who is the CEO of Citadel.
Nah, he's seasoned.
This is his life's work, guys. He has been running this playbook for 30 years. Let me break down why he's one of the smartest hunters on Wall Street. And I actually owe an apology because on the last reel that I posted on the Stock Unlock page, I said Citadel, the same asshats. What I meant to say was Melvin Capital, the same asshats that were bailed out by Citadel. So here's what happened, guys. And this guy made $5 billion in 1 week. Here's how he did it. So the portfolio, by the time it got destroyed, went down from $45 billion to $16 billion. Mm-hmm. Okay. Ken Griffin and Citadel bought it for $14.4 billion. They got a 10% discount. They paid $14.4, but it was valued at $16 billion. That means the instant that they bought situational awareness, the instant they signed and the deal was closed, Citadel already made $1.6 billion. Just by the signature that the deal is done. And then it only took them 36 hours to do this deal. He invited all of his directors, his quants, his COO, his COCIO, his head of equity on quantitative research, his chief legal officer, all that. In 36 hours, the deal was done. But here's where it gets even crazier is when he bought hold on, where this is. Boom, boom, boom. When he bought everything, guys, oh my God, dude. When he bought everything, it was wrecked at the worst. After the purchase, CoreWeave rallied 23%. Bloom Energy rallied 26%. Nebius rallied 27%. Oracle rallied 7%. Those four were some of the biggest names that rallied, and SanDisk isn't even mentioned in this one. SanDisk rallied another like 25-30%. It dropped down to 1,000. Now it's at 1,300. So in just 4 days, guys, the portfolio that was worth $16 billion just got a 20% gain overall, and they made another $4 to $5 billion in just 1 week's of time from the bounce back from all those stocks getting absolutely destroyed. And like I was saying, guys, this is not Ken Griffin's first time doing this. He did this in 2006 with a company called Amaranth Advisors. They were down $6.6 billion. This was when natural gas went to crap. They shut down. Ken Griffin came and bought them in a year's time, made 30% and made a few billion off of that. In 2007, Suwood Capital lost a $30 billion portfolio. Ken Griffin assembled a monster team, and overnight, they bought the $30 billion portfolio from them. And then in 2021, the famous GameStop squeeze from Melvin Capital, one of the largest hedge funds at the time, got destroyed, absolutely destroyed by the GameStop short squeeze. And they bought this fund for only $2.7 billion, guys. Melvin ended up down 39% that year, and he bought them down completely. So if you guys noticed, he waits until these funds blow up everything. He comes in, he buys them, buys all their assets for pennies on the dollar, makes instant profit, and then by holding, profits on the way up when those assets rebound. It is the most gangster move of Wall Street chess by any fund.
If Ken Griffin, right? If Ken Griffin isn't the poster boy of buy the fucking dip, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah.
Like literally. I mean, if he doesn't, if he thinks these American stocks are going to come back, why don't you? Right? Don't get so scared and get shaken out.
Yep.
Also,
yeah.
One thing I wanted to point out with this, like we have to point this out too. You know, a lot of, you know, for a little bit, you know, situational awareness was kind of like the standard of AI investing that, and a lot of other funds looked up to, and they copied a lot of their trades. So, you know, you could see ripple effects or similar plays happen in the future with other funds trying to blow these other little funds out.
Yep.
You know,
speaking of funds blown out, guys, next week I'll talk to you about the potential craziest yen trade in the world. Me and Fauci have already talked this one out, but I got more to say. So Leopold's only assets, well, I mean, this guy's still rich, but he has $3.5 billion locked investment that he can't sell right now, which might work out in his favor if Anthropic keeps booming. So let's get into stocks. And Anthropic has been the thing. And guys, what's the one, you know, I've talked about, you know, I talked about PayPal a lot last year. I talked about PayPal a bit this year. But there was one stock that I always harped on this year that I said was going to get the vast majority of the AI boom in its favor. It was a Magnificent Seven stock. Can anyone remember what that was? Type it in the chat. No?
Oh, Meta.
Someone already said it right.
Oh, wait, Amazon. Yeah, Amazon has yet to pounce.
Amazon just broke new all-time high today, crushing it. They destroyed their earnings, but did you guys know that the reason why Amazon destroyed their earnings, they made a F ton of money on AWS, and I'm going to get into that. Mm-hmm. But did you guys know Amazon made $54 billion in profit in just Q2 because of Anthropic? And they're up over $127 billion just because of Anthropic?
Amazon and Anthropic.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the tie? Talk to me about the tie.
Because Amazon invested $3 to $4 billion in Anthropic about a year and a half ago. And then they invested another about $3 to $5 billion in Anthropic earlier this year at $100 billion evaluation. Anthropic is $985 billion evaluation. They're 10x. You want to hear the knit and grit?
What?
I fucking love this space, bro. I can't wait to have a yacht. I'm so tapped in, bro. I'm so fucking tapped into all this shimmy now. I can't wait. The next 4 years of Stock Unlocked are going to be like Insider Unlocked. I'm fucking hype. Anyway, so why did Amazon crush it so hard? Guys, they blew out earnings completely. They made $200.6 billion in revenue for the first time ever in a single quarter. Their revenue growth was up 20% year over year. They beat their earning per share estimate by 214%. Get the fuck out of here. Their operating income is a net positive 43% year over year. And AWS has had their fastest growth in 5 years, guys. They did $42 billion, 37% growth year over year. And the annualized run rate for them was $169 billion for it. Now let's talk about the big gain though with what I was just talking about with Anthropic. So Amazon profited $53 billion in a non-operating gain from just Q2 because they invested into Anthropic. A non-operating gain just means a gain that was established by the business, not from their traditional business model, right? Mm-hmm. Because it was just an investment. So Amazon put in $4 billion in Q3 of 2022 and then added another $4 billion in November 2024. So bringing their total investment to $8 billion. And when they did that, I had the math wrong. When they did that, Anthropic was only valued at $18 billion, bro, when they did that. $18 billion.
Wow.
It's almost at $1 trillion now. So at $18 billion, and then Amazon expanded the deal by another $25 billion, with basically $5 billion deployed immediately and $20 billion to be at future milestones. And then when they contributed that $25 billion, this was when Anthropic was valued at $380 billion. So now, with all of their investments, they've invested around 13 to 14 billion, and they still have another 19 billion to invest in their deal, but they're only about 13 to 14 billion dollar in right now. So their overall stake in Anthropic before it went to 960 billion was $72 billion on paper at a $380 billion evaluation. And now it's 2 times higher because Anthropic's valuation right now is at $965 billion. So guys, they're holding anywhere from $135 to $160 billion of Anthropic right now. They are the single largest shareholder and owner of Anthropic is Amazon.
Brother.
No other company. It's Amazon that owns Anthropic, basically.
Amazon's going to control Anthropic. They're going to acquire it.
You bet your sweet ass it's getting there soon. So this is absolutely bonkers for what's going to happen to Amazon. And guys, bravo to Amazon for being the 5th company now to hit a $3 trillion market cap. And Andy Jassy, who's the new CEO, says, this is just getting started, baby. They should see AWS grow another 2 to 3x. They're saying, guys, it's going to be so bonkers if Amazon continues this rate of growth. It's the biggest sleeper, and Meta is a strong close second, guys. You guys know how much I've been talking about Amazon and Meta in terms of stocks all year. Microsoft is my 3rd, but Amazon, this relationship with Anthropic, with them being the biggest shareholder of Anthropic, is no joke whatsoever. Let's rip into some earnings real quick, recap, and then we got to go into crypto. One of the biggest crypto stories probably of the year and of the last 2 years. It's kind of effing scary, but Justin has good data on this, and I have a lot of good data on this as well. So let's recap earnings really, really fast, guys. So obviously it's Amazon crushed it completely. Google actually missed earnings, which is very rare for them to miss earnings, but their Google Cloud growth grew 82%. This is not something to scoff at or to brush off. 82% growth in their cloud growth is massive, guys. This continues to go back to data centers, data storage, data centers, data storage. That's what the entire 165-page essay of situational awareness was about, on how to scale AI to super intelligence. It's data centers, chips, data centers, chips. It's crazy. Tesla missed earnings super hard. Free cash flow went negative. Optimus timelines delayed. SpaceX has become JokeX in terms of the stock. Great company. We said the IPO was going to be garbage off the rip. And just the ties of Tesla and SpaceX. Every time SpaceX is going to go down, you're going to see Tesla go down. And that's going to be synced in for quite some time. Microsoft. Bravo, Microsoft, which was what the other one that I harped on, guys, was a huge winner. They crushed revenue. Azure growth is up 43%. Meta was the big loser, guys. It fell 14%. That was on July 29th. It fell 14%. Look at the price of Meta on August 3rd. Just 3 days later, it's right back to where it dipped. So Meta, if you bought the dip, is a fantastic winner. Do not sleep on Meta. They're going to keep fucking booming and zooming. Apple topped estimates. Crushed year to date. Nothing new for them. NVIDIA reports, it's the last one to report as always, guys. NVIDIA reports at the end of this month. So Apple was the big leader here, Microsoft, Alphabet, and then Amazon. But Amazon, right after earnings, ran harder than all of them. So what's up, brother?
I don't mean to piss you off, but Apple's going to start charging for Siri.
For Siri?
Yeah.
For what?
Bro, I don't know if you know, but it's called Siri AI now. Has been in beta testing
It's shit.
In a sandbox.
You did just piss me off.
Well, there's going to be a new version rolling out called Siri AI, and I guess it doesn't suck.
Yeah, right.
And Tim Cook on his last earnings call said that they're going to start charging for Siri because of how good it is and how it's enriching people's lives on immaculate levels, and then now they're going to have to start paying
I still say call mom, and it says, calling David.
Well, you're not using Siri AI yet.
What do they call their shit? Apple Intelligence instead of AI?
Yeah. But I guess Siri AI is something completely different now.
Janky bullshit.
Yeah. So we'll see. we'll see.
Yeah.
But if it's some crazy, I don't know,
dude,
man.
Okay, get into this, but when you get to the bits, dude, can I just talk about the bit part?
Yeah, you could talk about the bits. Guys, a serious crypto hack has been going on.
Very serious.
Not just any crypto hack.
A hack like we've never seen before.
Yeah. A cold wallet hack, right?
Scary.
And you guys know how if you want to have complete sovereignty when you're holding your crypto, meaning you have complete control of your funds, right? It's not on an exchange. It's in your cold wallet. You use a cold wallet, right? And that's supposed to be the most secure way of storing your crypto. Now, there's a company out there that a lot of Bitcoin users hold, and a lot of OG Bitcoin users have held, and it's called the Cold Card. That lately has been hacked. And guys, if you know how cold wallets work, you're not physically storing Bitcoin on this wallet, by the way. It's just a device that connects to your wallet.
Yep.
That is just an extra layer of security to execute transactions. Like, in order for you to execute a transaction, you need to have that device connected to your wallet, and then you need to put in and you need to approve it on that device. Now, all that goes out the window if your seed phrase is recovered by anyone or anything else, right? Like, for example, you have this wallet connected to a hardware device, a cold wallet, and you recover your seed phrase on a different wallet. That device does not matter anymore. So basically, this is what happened. Cold Card is one of the most trusted hardware wallets in Bitcoin. We just talked about the kind of air-gapped offline device serious holders use. Right? It's not connected to the internet. It's not connected to anything at all. And it's used to keep your coins safe. It became the center of one of the largest self-custody thefts ever. Attackers began systematically draining Bitcoin from Cold Card wallets, exploiting a flaw that let them regenerate users' private keys without ever touching the physical device. Okay, just like we just talked about.
So crazy how it happened, bro. Dude, I went in a rabbit hole on this.
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
So the cause is a firmware flaw. It's not a phishing attack, right? Like this is a flaw from the developers, essentially, right?
Yeah.
In their firmware. A March 2021 Coldcard update drew wallet seeds from a weak software fallback instead of a hardware random generator, collapsing an MK3's key security to about, and you're about to talk about the bits, right?
Yeah.
From 40 bits from the intended 128 bits. Go into more of that.
All right. So, guys, we talk about passwords, right? Let's say your password is 3 characters, right? There's so many 3-character words out there, right? So many possibilities. A computer can keep generating different passwords until it figures out those 3 words, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, just like Justin said, back in 2021, they launched this software for their MK3 wallet, which is just the name of the wallet model. Now they're up to like MK5. The MK3 software, just like Justin said, put out a security to produce 40-bit phrases instead of the standard 128-bit. So what that means, guys, is 1 bit gives you 2 possibilities, 2 bits gives you 4 possibilities, 3 gives you 8, right? So 40 bits, which is what pushed out, gives you 1 trillion possibilities of passwords. And to get like, whoa, 1 trillion possibilities? That's insane. No one's going to guess that. No computer can guess that. Guys, it only takes 18 minutes to crack a 40-bit transaction. So it only takes 18 minutes to try 1.1 trillion different passwords from a computer. Pretty crazy, right? Only 18 minutes. Now, when you bump that up to 128 bits, it goes to 340, I can't even say this word, undecillion possibilities.
Yeah.
That's basically the number 340 with 36 zeros behind it. Guys, at the best computer in the world, it would take 1 billion years to solve that many different possibilities. So impossible. Now, Bitcoin itself uses 256 bits, guys. So that's why Bitcoin itself is impossible to hack. But where it's stored can definitely be hacked. And how they found it was actually crazy. So this company, Coldcard, uses an AI to continuously scrap all their softwares, look at their software, see any leaks and holes. The attackers just simply used a different AI model and found a leak. Can you believe that? That's like saying, all right, here's Coinbase. All right, Grok, check if Coinbase has any flaws on their wallet. And Grok says, nah, nothing. Okay, ChatGPT, check Coinbase's code to see if there's any flaw in their code, in their wallet storage. GPT is like, nah. But then Claude, I'm like, yo, Claude, check to see if Coinbase has any errors, any malicious code that we can basically hack. Claude's like, oh, wait a minute. I just found a flaw. Look at this model. This software, it's still using 40-bit. So they found it by using AI to find it, and then they just simply attacked it. And here's the craziest part. It's still going on. They can't stop it because all those seed phrases are already out there.
Yeah.
So anyone that has this wallet, has this version, is in jeopardy. So some guy in Canada lost 18 Bitcoin, bro.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is he bought the wallet, he put the Bitcoin in it, and he took the wallet to a safety deposit bank in a bank, a great bank. It's like, bro, you have the world's best safe in the world.
And it's being stolen from within the safe.
Yeah, it's like you have the best safe in the world with the best asset in the world, and then you put like one of those locks that we had in high school with one of the combinations, and all it takes is a fucking bolt cutter to snip it off, and they can access all your funds. It's basically what happened when they found this when they found this exploit. Yeah.
Hey, so like what Arthur was saying, like a majority of these people that got their Bitcoin stolen were, old dormant holders, right? Like from that guy from Canada that bought Bitcoin a long time ago, bought this hardware, this cold wallet, and put it in a safety deposit box. This is why it's so important that you guys need to constantly update your firmware. You need to, if there's, and then honestly get new devices when the time warrants it. If there's like devices, if your older device is no longer compatible with new firmware, because of stuff like this, and it's so crazy, Art. Let me tell you why. This is all around the same time that Anthropic, when Anthropic was doing
Mythos.
Yeah, when Anthropic Mythos was hacking those 3 companies in that not so internal environment.
Yeah.
By the way, one of those hacks was crazy, right? They cloned a company, right? Like a fake company of a real company, and they messed something up to where it didn't have like it didn't have like built access for the AI model to hack, so it targeted the actual company and
My God, dude.
Yeah, and it went for and it hacked this real company. It's insane, but that's
did you guys see the robot UFC in Asia where the robot literally kicks the other robot's head off, and the robot with the head off is still throwing flying kicks better than Conor McGregor ever could? We're so fucked, dude.
Yeah.
Guys, be very careful out there. Do not use this company cold card. Arnold, sorry, but we're just going to hit one more topic real quick, just because it ties to what we've been talking about all month. Real quick, guys, Coinbase posted a quote-unquote surprise loss in their quarter. You guys want to know why they lost the quarter?
Base. Was it base?
Actually, no, bro. So, guys, when Stock Unlocked is telling you it's summer season in a bear market, the volume has dried up, we're not trading that much, we're not just speaking out of our ass, and we're not just taking a vacation to take a vacation. I would prefer a much expensive lifestyle, being in Como every fucking month, balling out on a yacht every month if I could, so I'd always be trading. But even Coinbase, the biggest crypto company in the world, stock got absolutely obliterated. Why? Because their trading volume has dropped over 20%, guys, dipping their revenue down 21%. So 21% of the revenue from Coinbase annihilated. It's $600 million in revenue that they lost from lack of trading fees. Guys, the crypto market is slow. It's why we've been preaching about this for many episodes. It's why I dropped some pretty fire analogies about like training and trading and how they relate, taking rest days, easy days, long days, right? We don't need to get into all that again, but I just want you guys to know this is across the board from every exchange. Coinbase, the biggest one, took such a big hit. These other exchanges are all also hurting. And shit, we actually have one more thing to talk about. My God, Arnold, I need 5 more, buddy. Sorry. Guys, who wants a funded account?
A free one.
A free one. It's your lucky day. There's
Hello.
19. Hello. There's 19 people in the audience. I'm giving away a 5K account. Arnold, write a. Actually, can you think of a number 1 through 100? Don't tell me yet.
For those that stay to the end, you're about to get rewarded.
Yep. Okay, guys. Arnold, our amazing cameraman and controller. Oh shit, that's not my camera. So I can't see him. Never mind. Anyway, he's very handsome. Whatever. In the chat, guys, put a number between 1 through 100. Whoever's the closest is going to win a 5K funded account, thanks to our folks at Apex, and thanks to our folks over at AIX Funded. They're going to hook us up with a 5K account, guys. A 5K funded account. If you pass it, you keep all the profits, baby. And if you keep making it and you keep crushing it, guys, you can keep rolling the 5K, guys. You can keep keeping all the profit from the 5K account that you keep gaining on it. So, everyone, get your numbers in, please.
Whoa, Lon. You can't just say 2 numbers.
Yeah, what the fuck is that, Lon? Whoa.
You better pick one. Delete one
before I kick you from the chat. No, I'm kidding. The fuck?
Lon, you got to delete one, else you're gonna get disqualified from this.
Lon, you better delete one. Okay, he erased 26 because Eddie put 26. Dude, I mean, you could have kept 26. What if you guys were both right? Who knows? I think I know who won. Hey, yo, Eduardo, bro, you're on the team now. You can't participate, buddy. Sucks to be an employee.
Damn,
sorry, bro. You can't. Sorry, dog. Guess what? No more Rolexes for you either, bro.
K says 10.
10? I literally did it for the laugh. Okay, guys, is this everyone? Heiko, John, Devin? Devin, did you put? Yep, I see Devin in there. Jordan, did you do it? Okay, cool. ECast, did you do it, brother? Hard hat? Everyone did it?
Going once.
No, that doesn't mean Eduardo won. I'm just saying he can't participate. It's not fair.
Last chance to put your numbers up. Going once.
Going twice.
Going thrice.
Final call. Arnold, what's the number, big dog?
All right, I wrote it down and screenshotted it, so it was locked in at.
Oh, my favorite number. Who said
Dude,
I got it, bro. Let's go. 17 he picked, guys. 17 he picked.
That's kind of sus, but yeah, you want...
He picked my favorite number, dog. Yevin Yeet. Yo, 17 is always a winner, bro. Don't ever bet against 17. Let it ride. 17, guys. All right, Hike. I'm going to DM you a code that is going to give you a 5K account on AI funded. Also, guys, if you guys would like, they're also offering 40% discount on a 25K account and 30% discount on a 5 to 15K account. So if there's anyone that wants to try a challenge account of a 25K account or anywhere from 5 to 15K, just simply DM me. And they said they would only give me one discount code. I'm sorry, they said 2 discount codes and 1 free account, but I'm going to try to finesse some more discount codes for you guys. So if you guys want to take a 25K challenge or a 5 to 15K challenge, just DM me. Hike, I'll send you your coupon to get you your free 5K count. Oh, man, and I forgot one other thing. Guys, there's one more giveaway. One more giveaway right now. Oh, who left the chat? Whoever wants a free $200 Apex account. Literally free $200 trading account, 0 restrictions. 0 restrictions. Arnold, I need one more number from you, dog. Don't tell me. Guys, 1 through 100, drop it in the chat. You guys have 60 seconds. Drop a number in the chat, 1 through 100. You're going to get a free $200 Apex account. Keep the numbers going. Keep the numbers going. Here we go. Keep going, guys. Don't forget. Let it ride. No one wanted to bet on 17 that time. Man, yo, guys, I have no idea what Arnold picked. He could have been a secret sicko and picked 17 again. Who knows? All right, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7. I see one more person typing. 5, 4, 3, put a number in. Hurry up, little baby Jesus. 2.
You got to type faster. You have to type faster.
1. What? He stopped typing. What? Little baby Jesus, are you going to guess a number or not? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. God damn it, he's typing again. Hurry up, dude. You're making everybody wait. All right, he said, all right, brother. No way!
What was it?
No way.
Dog, wait.
Dude, bro, are you sure you want to change your answer, little baby Jesus?
Baby Jesus, you want to change your answer? What number?
So
what number do you want? What number do you want? What number do you want?
Oh, he erased it. Dude, it was 52, bro. That was wild guess. Did anyone else guess 52? Nope, just him. Wow, bravo, dude. Bravo. Guys, he is kind of a hacker. He could have cameras around here. I don't know. He could be watching us. But GG's, that was actually kind of
He was probably like, what are the flip in his mouth?
All that typing, he was trying to access the cameras. All right, guys. Congrats, Hike. You won the 5K funded account. Congrats, little baby Jesus. You won a $200 Apex account. Everyone else, guys, if you want a 30 to 40% discount on a funded account trial, just shoot me a DM. We'll get you guys hooked up. We're sorry we ran 12 minutes late. Thank you, Arnold, for hooking it up. Guys, we'll see you next week on The Market Take. See you guys on the trading floors. Peace.